we doing? Hi, Heidi. Hi, hello. Today, we are going to be talking about what to do and how to keep pushing when sales are slow. We are at the beginning of a summer slump. Okay. So not only that, I'm sure a lot of you over specifically probably last week, if not the week before, have experienced a real dip in views, revenue, all the things like that. You're probably looking at your stats and you're like, huh? What's going on? So this is completely normal. Whenever there is political stuff going on, things like elections, and obviously you have all of the pre-election stuff, don't you? Not only that, we also had the Euros on. So if you're based in the UK, football for a lot of people is very important. My husband being one of them. And also we had Glastonbury and a load of other events on. Plus, I don't know if it was just me, but I feel as if everyone and their dog was on holiday over those, probably like the last 2-3 weeks. Everybody I know has been on vacation in some way, shape, or form. So it doesn't surprise me that a lot of people's views and sales and revenue have dipped. Okay, but this is the kickoff of what I like to call the summer slump. Because what do people do in the summer, right? They aren't necessarily shopping. They are probably more likely, if they are going to buy, they're going to buy in person. They're not spending a lot of time online because who wants to spend time indoors when it's nice out? The kids are off as well in, I think in Scotland they're off. I'm not sure where else, but the kids are off for a lot of people. And it all just seems to be extremely busy. So I just wanted to kick things off just by saying that you are not alone. If things have dipped for you, that is completely normal. And I don't want you guys to panic, okay? I'm not quite sure if you guys have seen, but I have just released The Shop Doctor, which I'm going to share my screen a little bit with you because I feel as if a lot of people have been messaging back and forth, kind of like, what is this? How is it going to help me? All that kind of stuff. So if you go to the link that's on the little bar kind of scrolling across, you will see the link, okay? And The Shop Doctor is basically a very, very, very succinct kind of mini course / tool to use. And it's 3 steps. And basically the 3 steps are as follows. And I love how easy and simple it is because it's literally 3 steps for you to cut down your massive to-do list in half, to unoverwhelm yourself. Basically everything you need to know about what should I focus on? How do I make waves? Going towards my 5 financial goal, revenue goal, order number goal. How do I know what to work on that's actually going to move the needle, right? So it's a diagnostics test. It's a whole training video, kind of training you on the results of that test. And then there is a progress journal attached to it as well. So by the end of this, you are going to know exactly what is up with your shop. Okay, what you need to improve. You are going to know exactly your plan and things that you have to look at and do in order for you to achieve that. And then you have the progress journal as well. So there's a bunch more goodies. There's bonus stuff in here as well. There's all sorts of amazing things, and all of that literally for £49. So what I thought I would do as well is I'm going to show you a bit of a behind the scenes. I'm not quite sure if you guys can see that or not. Yes, you can. Awesome. So this is a behind the scenes of the actual little mini course itself. Okay, so you have the welcome video, you have all that kind of stuff. You then have the test, which is here. You have the lesson where I'm teaching you all of the good stuff as to what your results mean for you. You then have the workbooks as you know, attached to all of that as well. You then have the progress journal and schedule plan, which is basically the Handmade Bosses business planner. So if you can see, I don't know if you can see it actually where the screen is now, but it's basically the planner. So basically you get a digital version of the planner included with this so that you are able to schedule all of these things in and actually get that ish done. Okay. We also have some bonus goodies here as well. We got 3 60-minute shop critiques for you to have a little watch. And we also have the standout brand workshop for you as well. A lot of people have been asking about the diagnostics test. So that is where this is. And basically, it is a nifty little link to a quiz. It's just nice and easy. So it's literally multiple choices. So it should take you probably 15 minutes. And it's going to spit out exactly what you need to do. Okay. So I just wanted to go through that because I feel like I've got a lot of questions about it. So I just thought I would kind of show you a little bit more behind the scenes of that. But for 49 quid, you can pretty much find out exactly what you need to focus on, which is awesome because I feel like a lot of us are overwhelmed AF, right? So that's going to be the first thing that I would say. If things are slow, if things are a little bit less than shiny, a little bit less than what you want to do right now, and you're sort of sat there and you're thinking, okay, things have dipped. I've got all these things that I could do, but I don't know what's going to work for me. I don't have time to be wasting trying something and then it not working, then having to undo it. I don't have the money to spend on like this tool and that tool and this scheduler shiny object thing and this thing and this thing and this thing. And you're like, I just want to know what the problem is and what I need to do. Then the shop doctor would be basically your first port of call. Okay. One other question I have got is there anything alongside the shop doctor that I can do to kind of create more of a roadmap for me? And I would say, because you get a digital version of the planner, because obviously the shop doctor, you get the shop doctor. I would say the third thing would be the book, because the book is, and I can show you the book, in fact. So this is the book. And I mean, there's not really a lot I can really show you because Amazon are a little bit naff in terms of like showing you the book. But obviously it's a best-selling book. It's one that's helped loads of people. Reviews are all great. And yeah, that would be kind of like the other thing that I would say for you to have a little look at and use that alongside the shop doctor. We don't know yet if we are going to open the course up again this year. We may do, we might not do. I'm not sure. I've basically got like 2 weeks to sort of figure it out. Like, is this going to be okay? Is this going to be a thing? So if you're like, I need help now, I don't want to wait, then this is your chance to like get some help, get some good stuff from me without having to go like the whole hog. Camille says, is it a good time to do it now since things are currently slow? Summer slump you mentioned. Wouldn't it be hard to see if the changes we make are effective? Well, yes and no, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to make changes when you're busy, because it will reset the algorithmic clock. So if you start making changes to like titles and tags and all that good stuff, it will then kind of reset things. So actually, I'd say you should change things now, because you'll still be getting traffic, but it won't be as much as you are getting, right? And also it's the time, isn't it? It's the time to be able to like implement all this stuff. So I would say don't do it in a busy time, because obviously you're going to be busy, and when you're taking the quiz, things are going to be overinflated. Whereas I guess what you really want to do is you really want to make sure that you are kind of saying things are slow right now. This is my views. This is my revenue. This is a lot of the questions. What does this mean? And this is kind of based off of the shop doctor and everything like that, is look at facts, not feelings. So how many of you, like by a show of hands, emojis, whatever you want to do, how many of you, when you make changes to your business, your Etsy shop, your website, whatever, how many of you are doing it based on how you feel? So you might be saying something like, I feel as if I need to change my listing pictures. I feel as if my SEO isn't really working. I feel as if I need to up my prices, put a sale on, whatever. So how many of you are making changes based on how you feel versus based on facts? Because that is one thing that I notice a lot of business owners doing, is that they will panic because things are slow, things are lower than ideally they kind of want to be, and they will panic change things because they're having like almost like an emotional reaction, which is 100% like, okay. And we are going to feel like that because we are so close to what we do. And at the end of the day, for a lot of us, the business is our baby. It's our like life's work, right? But one thing that I do find is that if you start to change things based on this emotional reaction, based on feeling a way, then a lot of the time you can change all of the wrong things. And this is something that I do hear a lot of, where people will say, I had this weird slump for like 2, 3, 4, 5 months. And then I changed some things I thought were good to change. And then things have kind of just gotten worse from there, right? And I just find that it is a real thing. I just find that it is a real thing. And you don't want to do that. You really want to base your changes based on the facts. And this is things as well, like look at your sales patterns, look at patterns from last year, look and kind of see, okay, is the summer traditionally a slow time for me? Obviously, if you are new, you can't really do this, but there is still data there. You can kind of say, for example, are things slower for me the second week of the month? Is payday a massive thing that influences people to buy? So looking at the sales patterns, and a lot of the time what I find is when I start to dig into the sales patterns, it makes them feel a little bit better because they see that actually it's not anything they've perhaps done wrong. It's not anything like Etsy's not dying. It's just the way people are shopping at that particular moment in time, right? And also based off of that as well is look at, and this is the first question that I ask is, has anything changed? Like if you are having a slow time, has anything changed? Like, have you been marketing less? Have you been not posting as many products? There must be some kind of change integrated that probably would have had a knock-on like effect for things being slow. The second thing is, and again, this is a question that I always ask if someone's posting in the group and they're like, oh, things are slow right now. Like, what am I doing wrong? Da, da, da. My first question is marketing. What are you doing on a consistent weekly, daily basis? And sometimes people are a bit like, oh, well, I'm not really doing anything right now. And that's fine. Because obviously we all have our moments where we're like, oh, I can't be bothered to do all this kind of stuff. I get it. I'm having a moment like that right now where I'm just like, I just want to lie on my couch and watch The Real Housewives. But we have to be honest with ourselves. If Instagram views have dropped, if Pinterest views have dropped, if SEO views have dropped, if I don't know, direct visits and views have dropped, there is a reason for that. And it's really worthwhile asking yourself, have I been doing everything I can do with the time and energy that I have when it comes to marketing my stuff? Have I been showing up online? Have I been promoting? Someone said here that they are taking every single chance that they get to promote their shop. Can you honestly kind of align yourself with that and say, yes, that's me as well? Because if the answer is no, that's going to be your first port of call. If you're saying traffic has dropped, go out and get traffic in. Like there's lots of ways and means for you to do that. And of course, that would be phase 4. Okay. And the third thing just to kind of remember is that all things, all brands, all businesses, they all start from nothing. They all start from struggle. They all start from this place of nothing. No social media, no sales history, no products, no customers, nothing. And every business, every great business does have this period of struggle, of ups and downs. If you see a journey, maybe, and I do feel like TikTok maybe and Instagram Reels are a bit of a culprit here, but if you see anything but that, people posting about the real ups and downs, the real struggles, then they're kind of lying to you because they do have the ups and the downs. Like it is completely normal. And if you are just at the beginning, like I know that a fair few people here were new and they were like, okay, I'm new to you. If you are new, just remember that every single great brand out there started from absolutely nothing. So it's kind of just worth remembering that struggle is an integral part of every single business. And I think that the lessons that you learn from the struggles are actually probably some of the most valuable ones that you're ever going to get, rather than everything being hunky-dory and like rainbows and unicorns all the time. You're not really going to learn anything from that, because you're not going to come up against resistance. You're just going to be like sailing through, and everything's going to be great. So actually, I do feel like if you are struggling right now, and something that I do is I write a little list of like lessons that I've learned from this slump, and I always write the dates. I'm always like, my slump was from the June this to the June that, right? And here's 3 things that I've learned from that slump, and just keeping like a little record, because one day you're going to want to look back on that and say, oh, do you remember like 2-3 years ago when I had that slump and I thought everything was over and I thought my business was going to fail and I'd have to go back and get a job again, and then actually, as it turned out, it was just a moment in my business journey and I learned a lot from it, and it's all good, right? So I would definitely recommend, if you are new, I would definitely recommend this one, which is the Beginner's Guide to the Etsy Algorithm. I also like What Should I Sell? And I also love these 2 as well. So really, episodes 1, 3, 4, and 5 should be the first ones that you should start out with. If you are very new, I would say episode 7 is an awesome one, because it talks about all of the things that you need to do when you're first there's like obviously like a bunch of other things as well, like can you have a business without social media? There's just a lot of different stuff on there. So for sure, if you want to have a little nosy at that, the podcast is a great place to start. Have you got any tips as to how to connect your target with your target market? Okay, so really, I think that target audience research is never really done. It is something that I would say even every quarter to just go back over it and kind of deepen your understanding of it. When you say connect, I'm assuming that you mean, how do you what's the word, like emotionally connect with them? How do you convince them that you are the right person to solve their problem, you have the right product? And really, all of that is encapsulated with your branding, with how you share your product, the touch points between you and that particular person. So it's all about how you get all of these things across. A great example is, imagine that you have a brand that is like very like Barbie pink, very like la 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 la, and you have very gothic jewelry. There's going to be a disconnect there, and your target audience is going to go onto it and be like, I like the product, but something's not really vibing. Really, it's a case of getting your branding, your target audience, and your products, those 3 things aligned with that one person. And it's that one person that has to be in the middle of them. If you're talking about connecting as in, how do I find them? How do I bring them in? That's a loaded question. And I would say there's 2 prongs of it. A, search traffic, which obviously is SEO, using the right keywords, putting your listing across in the best possible way to reach those people via search. Like, what are they typing in the search bar? How would they describe this product? What would they physically type in to find what it is that you sell? Don't use jargon. Don't use words that they will not understand. This is where and a big thing that I always say is that you have to use the same language, the same tone, the same words as what your target audience would use. There is no point coming at it from an expert point of view and using jargon and all these words and all that kind of stuff, because it will not wash, it will not work, because people will not be using those words. And as for the second part of that, marketing, it's all about your social media. So it's almost like looking at your home hub, and that's like the one social media platform, and that is, you literally pick one, you master that one, and you rock and roll with that until you get it up to a point where you like it, you enjoy it, it's running itself. and then you go on to the next thing, right? So I only ever recommend having one social media channel. One thing I would not suggest that any of you guys do is join these buy and sell groups, because no one's buying on them. Like, you can post like 20 links a day and not get a single click. Like, it's a complete waste of time. I would instead aim for attraction marketing rather than push. And I feel like if you're joining Facebook groups and you are spamming links and you are like posting things in there or whatever, you're kind of pushing it at people rather than attracting people. And that is the main difference, is don't push but attract. Yeah. If you do have any questions, do reach out to me on Instagram DM. I am in there. I am voice noting you guys back and forth. If you've got any questions about the shop doctor or anything like that, then do let me know. But for now, my loves, I shall see you this time next Monday for another live mini workshop. Bye, everybody.